What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another video here on the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. I'm your host, Mike Walsh, and I thank you for joining me for another interesting idea and topic here on one of the fastest growing YouTube channels, Game Time Voice. Now, oftentimes in this world of sports, we talk about GOATs, the greatest of all time. And normally we talk about athletes like Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, and Lionel Messi, obviously with the World Cup coming up. But I want to talk about some different GOATs today. Because what if I told you some of the most legendary, impactful, and just all around greatest athletes were ones that don't necessarily exist? That's right, folks. Today we are ranking the 10 greatest fictional sports athletes of all time. We've gone through movies, TV shows, and even video games. We're looking at dominance, impact, and how clutch they are in their DNA to see who is the best in the fictional universe of sports. So strap in, folks. We got a doozy here, and let's get into it with number 10, everyone's favorite furry animal, Air Bud. I guess you could say that Air Bud is literally the ultimate underdog. This golden retriever is considered one of the greatest fictional athletes of all time because of many different reasons. One being his unprecedented multi-sport versatility, winning championships in basketball, football, soccer, and volleyball. The lovely golden retriever showed off his immense skill in adapting to different sports with elite passing and shooting while also serving as a cultural icon. There is no better dog for sport than Air Bud. Coming in at number 9 on the list, let's head across the pond to everyone's favorite fictional sports team and favorite fictional sports coach, Ted Lasso, and find everyone's biggest, pain in the neck, but eventually the nicest guy you could find, Mr. Jamie Tart. The prodigy striker of AFC Richmond had talent that was undeniable, an elite striker with immense skill and had a very high rating in everyone's favorite soccer game, FIFA, but had a little bit of an attitude problem. But Jamie quickly showed some amazing evolution, going from a selfish scorer to a complete playmaker, taking himself out of the front of a formation and putting himself in the center to become a playmaker instead of a glory hog. And his redemption story off the field, coupled with his amazing play on the field, had to put him on this list at number 9 as one of the best all-around turnarounds in fictional sports history. Next up, we're headed to the gridiron for everyone's favorite water boy, Mr. Bobby Boucher. And don't let the H2O talk fool you. He's arguably the greatest linebacker in fictional sports history. After years of being the team's punching bag, he unleashed heck and set an NCAA record for sacks in a single game and led the South Central Louisiana State University Mud Dogs to a Bourbon Bowl victory. Mr. Boucher's play style can be summed up very, very simple. If he's on the field, the quarterback is leaving in an ambulance because, in his mind, everyone against him is the devil. And maybe just a little bit of a teaser as to what's to come, folks, but this might not be the last athlete Adam Sandler portrayed that will be on this list. Next up, we're headed to the animated world to find everyone's favorite two-eared basketball player. And no, I'm not talking about Bugs. I'm talking about Lola Bunny from Space Jam. Now, I'm going to have a hot take here, and if everyone wants to sit down, I'll explain it to you in a little bit. Yes, in a game that featured Michael Flippin' Jordan, he was the star of the show, but let's not remember, this is a baseball player currently who hadn't played basketball in many years. So the best player on the floor in that game arguably was Lola Bunny. With amazing handles like Kyrie Irving and a clutch gene that rivaled Kobe, while the rest of the Looney Tunes were there basically to provide comic relief, Lola was providing one thing, that would be buckets. And in this humble YouTuber's opinion, she's the GFOAT, the greatest fictional Olympic athlete of tunes. Coming in at number 6 on the list, the Sandman returns with everybody's favorite hockey player turned golfer. It's Happy Gilmore, a man who changed the golf game forever, so much so that we're still trying to replicate the swing every time we go out for a round of golf nowadays. A failed hockey player who turned to golf with a 400-yard drive and a temper that would rival Mr. John McEnroe on the tennis court, Happy Gilmore not only won the Tour Championship, he beat one of the best players in the world in Shooter McGavin, who's still salty about it to this day, and he even beat an alligator, bringing a blue-collar attitude to a sport that could be kind of pompous sometimes. Happy provided something that made golf so simple. You just got to send the ball to its home, even though sometimes it might be too good for its home. Next up at number 5, yes, Stephen A. Smith, they are athletes. I don't care what you have to say. We're headed to the racetrack for everyone's favorite NASCAR driver, Ricky Bobby. If the movie Talladega Nights taught us anything, it's very simple about NASCAR. If you ain't first, you're last. Ricky Bobby dominated NASCAR with a win-at-all-cost mentality, despite having a mid-career crisis that involved, yes, a cougar and an imaginary fire. Having returned from that quite weird circumstance, he proved he was the fastest man on four wheels. In his rivalry with Jean Girard is the stuff of racing legend. Got the sponsors, the speed, and the best post-race interviews in history. Next up, we're headed to the Sandlot for everyone's fastest man alive, Benny the Jet Rodriguez. I think we all kind of grew up in a neighborhood or even a school or wherever you were with a kid who it was flat simply just better than everyone else. And Benny was no exception in this movie. A man who could run fast as lightning, saved a ball from a beast dog, and even made it to the big leagues to play for the Los Angeles Dodgers, stealing home for them in a game to win. So much so, Benny represents simple, pure, untouchable talent with a good heart that every kid dreams of having. And you know you have to be this special in a movie where one of his teammates, Hamilton the Babe Porter, was a great baseball player, but also turned out to be a professional wrestler. Little known fact. Next up, we're heading to the karate mat for the biggest turnaround ever in film and sports history, Mr. Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid. I think we all can relate to wanting to learn martial arts or boxing or any sort of combat sport just to be safe in case we weren't treated great in school or wherever we were. And you want to talk about a comeback? Somebody who went from being the new kid getting bullied to defeating a two-time All-Valley Under-18 karate champion. Now, some of you might be going, well, how is a kid who did karate in the top 3? Simple. Longevity. Decades later in the series Cobra Kai, he is still kicking butt with Miyagi-Do as the gold standard of karate alongside his former enemy turned friend, Mr. Johnny Lawrence. Some people overcome psychological warfare. Others overcome injuries like a broken leg, but Mr. LaRusso overcame both to defeat Johnny Lawrence and Mike Barnes in the All-Valley tournament. That, my friends, is elite. Coming in at number 2 on the list, it's the boxer that got his way into everybody's heart, Mr. Rocky Balboa. And was there ever a doubt he was going to be at the top of anybody's list? Not in this person's eyes. He's not just one of the greatest athletes of all time. He is the greatest movie athlete of all time. That's why I have him at number 2. Because in terms of cinematic athletes, there's nobody greater. Ultimate personification of it ain't how hard you get hit. It's about getting up and keep moving forward after you do. Rocky was absolutely instrumental in so many kids growing up and just getting back up. From a debt collector to a world champion in boxing, his resume is untouchable. Training montages, heart, and a legacy that spanned over 50 years in so many movies. Heck, this is a man who single-handedly stopped the Cold War with the Soviet Union. And finally, we've come to the number 1 fictional sports athlete of all time. And some of you who know me might have an idea of where I'm going. And for those of you who don't, allow me to give you some knowledge. There is nobody, in my opinion, that is a greater fictional sports athlete than this man. He's a secret weapon, one of the greatest fictional sports athletes of all time. Unmatched game-breaking ability, small stature, yet peak form, max level, power, speed, contact, outperforming even the pros, and a generation's defining gaming experience. That's right, folks. The number 1 sports fictional athlete of all time, Pablo Sanchez. If you know, you know. This man could do everything despite being this big. He's one of the greatest fictional sports athletes of all time. And if you don't know about it, I encourage you to go back and play the backyard sports games. Any of them. He is the best of all time. And that's my top 10 of the greatest fictional sports athletes of all time. Was there anyone that I left out or you thought should be on the list? Let me know down in the comments in terms of who should have been added to the list, or at least who should have been an honorable mention. Plus, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. I thank you guys for joining me here on this top 10 fictional sports athletes. I'm your host, Mike Walsh. Thank you for joining me here on the Game Time Voice YouTube channel. And remember, Game Time Voice is the voice of the common sports fan.